just because of the situation, you know, changing atmosphere, environment, a number of things could cause that, right? But those are basic things. Those headaches go away. But I'm talking about you have a nagging headache, you're suffering from headache every minute, you're going to be popping a tablet. Listen to me. You, God forbid, and this is not me trying to be know-it-all and that type of thing, God forbid, you are going to die a very serious, serious death. This particular individual that I'm talking about, who had the headaches for 6 months, you know what happened to them? They ended up with a brain aneurysm. They had to be rushed to the emergency room because in a board meeting, they eventually got this particular situation. Now, nobody will ever figure out this case that I'm talking about. And the thing is, this particular individual, they didn't have one. There was some time that passed, and then they had another one. And you know what happened again? They didn't pay attention to themselves, and they had a third one. So essentially, they had to go into this person's brain 3 times. And that same surgery that I spoke about with that coil that they had to do it 3 times. Now, the cost alone, we're talking about millions of dollars. But I tell people in instances, because that's what you have insurance for. Insurance covers certain things, and a lot of people have insurance. But you see, the thing is, don't take that for granted, because you see, there are people who believe, okay, well, I have health insurance, I could do what I want, and if anything happened to me, I have access to the best doctors, and they could fix me. Watch me. That is the biggest fallacy, and the biggest, you know, they talk about naivety. That is beyond naivety. Yeah, that is, in fact, we could call that stupidity. That's what that is. Because you know why? You don't ever want to reach in a situation where medical professionals cannot help you. And let me explain something to you. You see the situation we're talking about with blood going to the brain? Ask anybody who have lost their eyesight as a result of things like glaucoma, because you know glaucoma is blind you, right? Glaucoma could blind you immediately, partially, temporarily. So think about it. Think about a situation where you cannot see for a week, and then you start back seeing. Watch me. If that happened to me, watch me, I'm not even no cover on, no stone unturned to find out what's going on with me, though, because that's not normal. When I had that situation with that hiccups, because I don't know if you know about that, Dominic. I had a hiccup in situation. I had hiccups for 10 days, in fact, the hiccups last. I was quite annoyed, because hiccups are an annoying thing. But I was also concerned. So the thing is, I went and I did research. Now, watch me, I have nothing about hiccups. You can't ask me that, I don't know. For that 10 days, I researched hiccups. I said, but what is this? Like it's time for me to go? Like I'm going on dead? What's going on with this? I said, like I get a blow or something? Somebody send something for me? You know, this thing called kind of foolishness. But no, I really didn't think that. But I was concerned. But then I say in my mind, I tracing back and I realized, I said, no, this had happened in the gym. You know? I ate, because I went to work out at night, and normally I don't work out in the night, I work out in the morning. And I had eaten maybe about 3 hours. But the thing is, usually when I train, I don't ever eat. I train on a very, very empty stomach, especially if you're doing legs and those type of things, because of you don't want to make yourself uncomfortable. And I had a situation when I was younger that I actually vomited, and I didn't want to experience that. That was the worst experience. So in any case, I traced it and I said, listen to me, this had to happen when I went to the gym, because after when I come home, I drank water, I went to sleep, and then I get up in the morning with a set of hiccups. In any case, I went and checked my boy, Budu. Budu gave me a rub handle me. He said, Batson, has some gas, you know. I said, boy, buy this drink on thing on time, thing, whatever the case may be. So he said, I said, could be the food combinations, you know, because I eat some peas with something that, you know, I don't really mix, so I feel as that. So anyway, Budu sort me out, nice little massage, fix me. The hiccup stop a little bit. Next thing in United come back. I said, nah, man. So anyway, the whole long and short of the story is I realized that my diaphragm got inflamed as a result of working out with the food. Now, people might say 3 hours is enough time for your food to digest. But the meal that I had was a pretty big enough meal, but I don't overeat. But in any case, yeah, and then the positioning, I did legs, and then I went and do abs. And that abs was where you had to raise your legs in the air. You know, if you're hanging and you're right. No, so the thing is, I believe that caused the diaphragm to become, you know, little, what's the word I was looking for, boy? Irritated, right? Because the hiccups are starting, stopping, some. But what made it was annoying. So in any case, I ended up doing some research, and I read, thing. And then I realized, well, you know, they say, I try all kind of thing. I drink a glass of apple cider vinegar, I do this, I do that. Watch me, all kind of thing I do. I eat peanut butter, all this thing. Realize it have to do with the vagus nerve, which is one of the nerves. Your vagus nerve is actually one of, some people say vagus, some people say vagus nerve, tomato to tomato. That's a serious nerve because that actually affects significantly your autonomic nervous system, which is the parasympathetic, sympathetic. And that is actually what caused people to get hiccups. So the thing is, I realized, okay, is this. And then I saw on the internet that they say you could stand up and it's like you lean over like a 45-degree angle and you drink from a glass on the opposite side. So, because what it was saying is that when you do that, in order to drink the water from that position, or that side of the glass, and in that position, it actually stimulates the vagus nerve and there's a next one, that is on the side, on your left side here between your clavicle. And that actually stimulates it and actually causes it, and the hiccup would stop. Watch me, Dominic, I do that, and immediately Mr. Hiccup stop. So that's just to tell you that sometimes when something is wrong, you need to check. Because at the end of the day, there is always a solution to a problem. So I just share that long story with you to tell you, if it is you know you have you know you're having headaches, do not play with headaches. If your vision is beginning to give you problems, it is a clear indication that you do not have sufficient blood flow to your brain. And if you do not fix that, ladies and gentlemen, listeners of Sky 99.5, God forbid, you're going to end up with what is known as a TIA. What is a TIA? A TIA is an acronym for a transient ischemic attack. So what we just spoke about, we said strokes are usually in two categories. There are bleeding strokes, which are called hemorrhagic strokes, and there are ischemic strokes, which are non-bleeding strokes. So if you had a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack, it means that there is some ischemia or some lack of blood flow, lack of oxygen, lack of nutrients in some part of your brain. So whether you have a little headache.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, in this ischemic stroke,
right,
where we're saying that the oxygen, we're lacking oxygen in certain
parts of the brain, right?
In certain parts, all right? Once we determine, or once it has been determined, as a matter of fact, if we are experiencing headaches, if somebody is experiencing headaches from time to time,
right,
and we're listening to this program today and we say, okay, maybe it's lack of nutrients, and we decided, you said earlier that this is a circulatory issue.
Right.
What do we do as of now, even before we come to see Dr. Batson?
Yeah, right.
What measures do we take? Because even in our conversation this morning, it doesn't die immediately.
No, it doesn't.
It is still on. It is still a part of the host. It is still a part of the whole.
Right.
So there's a chance for
there's a chance for it to be definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So how do we, even before we see Dr. Batson, is it that, because I know some persons will say, well, the church folks will come and say, it's really pray and fast. And then fasting is good.
Good, it is.
It's really fasting is good. But, and I know the health benefits to fasting.
Of course.
But beyond that, what should we do? Like immediately headaches for the past week.
Yeah.
What should they do? What is he, Dr. Batson, on Monday morning?
Okay, so first thing you need to do, check your hydration. Water, more water. Most people who have problems with headaches, well, not most, a lot of them, is a sign of dehydration. You are not drinking sufficient water. So we know the rule by now, half your body weight divided in ounces. So if you weigh 160, half of 160 is 80, you should be drinking 80 ounces. 80 ounces in liters would be what, boy? Let me see how good I think that's like anywhere between 1.5, maybe 1.8 liters of water, somewhere around there. So that should,
much.
Sorry?
That isn't much. For anybody that said that they can't drink a 1.5 in a day.
Yeah, no, something wrong with you. You're playing pitch. You go back and play marbles. Yeah. So that's one of the things you need to pay close attention. So that's one. Next thing, hot tea. You think, may not necessarily have circulation, TIT or long tea. Those are the teas that we use to deal with circulation in the brain. So you could have some lime or some rough skin lemon. You take a tablespoon of rough skin lemon, you put it in some hot water. If you have a little apple cider vinegar, and apple cider vinegar does not bother your stomach, because you have to know yourself. You take the same tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and you throw it in that tea and you drink it. What hot tea does, and a lot of people don't understand, well, in this particular case, tea has tannins. So it depends on the kind of tea that you're using. So if, let's say, you use soursop tea, you take a little fever grass, make tea a regular part of your regime and your schedule. I'll tell you why. Hot things stimulate circulation in the body, pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. So when you start to drink tea, and if you can drink more than 1 cup of tea for the day, it's better. Now, keep in mind, when we say tea, T-E-A, we're not talking about T-E-A with M-I-L-K and S-U-G-A-R in it, right? Don't come to me with that nonsense. Leave the sugar out. Leave the milk out of the people thing. Milk and sugar have nothing to do with tea. That's like a barber going in a bakery and telling people you want to make bread. He knows nothing. That is a bad combination. Anytime you put milk, and don't tell me anything, sorry. That's some people say, Dr. Batson, the tea looking too bland. I want a little color. I don't care what color you want. Is tea you're drinking or you're looking for a husband or a spouse? Drink the people tea. Plain tea. Bush. Hot water. Nothing else in it. You allow that little teaspoon of honey, some of the honey people, and already don't overdo it. You're trying to hold half bottle of honey in the tea and tell me about you ain't tasting the sugar. And get the sugar nonsense out of that. Because I'll tell you something, sugar plays a significant role in damaging your blood vessels. And people don't understand that. Let me tell you something. Why do you think diabetics, we know what diabetes is, right? Diabetics are persons who, unlike the rest of us, have excessive amounts of glucose that is in their bloodstream at any given point in time. Why is that dangerous? Sugar is very what? Oxidative. What is oxidation? Oxidation is like rusting. If you cut an apple and the apple stay outside, it start to get black. So essentially, oxidation is what? Death. That's the best way I could translate it. Oxidation or excessive oxidation equals death. There's no other way to translate that. So it means when it is you have this level of high oxidation, because of this high level of glucose, it significantly does what? It damages your blood vessel. Let me see where's the best analogy I could give for this. Okay, so imagine you take a palm in your hand, you get a knife or a razor blade, and you just cut it up like a mad person. You leave it, God forbid, we know that's going to be excruciating, and it begins to heal, right? When it heals, that is not under normal circumstances, very rare. That is going to heal flat and smooth the way that it was before. You agree with me? It's going to most likely heal with a lot of ridges and bumps and that kind of thing. So imagine you do that. It heals and you do it again. It heals, you do it again. It heals, you do it again and again and again and again. What you're going to end up with is that surface is no longer smooth. So that same analogy that I used there, imagine that inside of the lining of your blood vessels. How do you think people just get plaque? Plaque buildup. That is essentially how plaque happens, because what happens, you get microscopic tears in the lining. Those linings are called endothelial linings. And when you get those microscopic tears, what happens is that the body immediately sends for the response, because there is inflammation in the blood vessels, whether it's arteries, capillaries, or veins. And what it does is that when it goes there and it makes that blockage, it forms a scar. And what happens is that things begin to pass. Every time it's going through the bloodstream, it begins to, so it's as if it begins to pick up things over a period of time, right? So imagine you're in a river and there is this particular, so that picking up leaves and all kind of thing. What is going to happen is that course is going to eventually what? Begin to narrow. Yeah, this plaque thing ain't no big maths and chemistry and all kind of thing. How this make it sound like it's just a hard thing to get rid of plaque. But what I'm saying to you is that that high level of sugar in the bloodstream is causing high oxidation, and that is why diabetics, when they do not take care of themselves, and they're on this bag of medication and bag of insulin and everything that in some cases don't even make no sense, and there is no living food in the diet at all to help the body heal, and they eventually losing the toes and losing your, let me tell you something, if you are diabetic and you lose your foot, thing real bad with you. Real bad, real bad. I have had persons who have come to us. By the way, when I say us, let me say a pleasant good morning to the consultants at Batson Associates, Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, Mr. Rene Bustamante. A pleasant good morning to you guys. You know, these people work very hard together with myself and the other junior consultants that we have to try and bring about as much service and efficiency to you guys. We're getting some more persons, God's willing, in the next coming months. So you know, God, yours truly job is going to become a bit easier, a bit. Right?
You do more radio. You do more radio.
I can do more radio. I hear you, Mr. Dominic. Yeah. So, you know, you don't want that to happen to you, and don't feel, because the thing is, I tell persons, I must be the only doctor in the world is getting some of the free advice that I just give. So the thing is, it didn't really I mean, yes, it had to do with Batson and Associates, because I had to come and pay and do the people radio program. When you come in the office, we have staff, you have a nice place to sit down, you have a nice cup of tea, you know, you're waiting, no way for mosquito to bite you and things. So those things cost money. But, you know, there's an economic consequence to everything. However, what you have to understand is that you need to take care of you. In the final analysis, that is what it is. You know? And some people, plain talk, bad manners, you neglect yourself. Some cases deliberately, although I do understand why you'll deliberately neglect yourself. But some people, it's because of family. You know, you take care of children, you take care of husband, or in other cases, you take care of wife. And, you know, you reach a stage in your life where you didn't really take care of yourself, and now is your time. And nobody could vex with you for that. Because in the final analysis, he who feels it knows it.
All right, so let's go back quickly, back to the brain, and we're dealing with memory here.
Right.
So when these attacks come, and we attack the brain, and we realize, somebody realizes,
right?
Hey, your memory is beginning to wane.
Yes.
Somewhere you're not retaining the memories.
The retainance is not as good.
Right. You know, you're messing things up now. What then should be the process? Because I know folks are busy wondering. So, I mean, I couldn't remember where my keys were last week.
Yeah.
I forgot the glasses that was right in my head. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it happened. I think that has happened to everybody, because sometimes if your phone, you have to catch yourself. Well, wait, where's my phone? And then it's because your phone in your hand.
And you're busy talking on it.
And you're busy talking on your phone, and you're looking for the phone. I think that's not necessarily memory. That just must be, I don't know what to call that. But the thing is, those things could be repaired, Dominic. And what people have to understand, this is where supplementation comes in. You know, I've been looking at some articles recently, and I have seen, let me say a pleasant good morning quickly to our Facebook family, Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. Miss Pamela Moses, good morning. Miss Melissa Richards, Miss Rosalind Noel, Miss Carol Myers, Miss Sherry Nimrod Raymond, Miss Marge Hills, Becca, good morning. Natasha Phillips, good morning. A pleasant good morning to our viewers on Instagram. On Batson, we have Batson and Associates TT on Instagram, and on YouTube we have Batson and Associates Limited. Let me say a pleasant Trinidad, my apologies. So on YouTube it's Batson and Associates Trinidad. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Blondie 1485. She's asking, can a collapsed lung be repaired? Okay, so I'm gonna later on, Blondie, I'm gonna address that question. So back to what we're speaking about with the circulation situation. So supplementation is important. Now, there was an interesting video that they had circulating, somebody sent to me. And I'm not trying to make, what people say, I'm not trying to make malanga or bacchanal here. But the video was of a former health minister who was speaking about instances where they had persons coming in with particular hemorrhaging as a result of taking omega-3. Because the individual was saying that, you know, these uses or excess use of omegas was causing persons to actually have hemorrhaging and bleeding. And, you know, I have a lot of respect for that gentleman, very educated. I mean, we could agree to disagree. There's something that I wouldn't agree with. And as I said, we could agree to disagree. And one of the things that I had an issue with is that they were making mention that there were persons who were taking blood thinners. So things like warfarin, Plavex, what's the other ones, boy? Warfarin, Plavex, and there are two others that I can't remember, that they normally give you. And you were saying that these particular persons use the omega as well, and that's how they end up in the problem, even aspirin. My issue with that, you know, is that, you know, not being critical, if it is you have been placed on medication specifically for blood clots, or you have had DVTs, which are deep vein thrombosis, usually you are placed on warfarin, which we know one of the main ingredients in warfarin is something called comodine. Then you have your Plavex, you have your aspirin, which do some aspect of blood thinning, but not as serious as warfarin. And then there is this next one that for some reason is not going to come, but I'm going to remember it just now. That's a newer one that they use. The thing is, usually if you come to us, and this is something I've been professionally trained in for years, I will never give you omegas if you are on those type of medication. You know, so what I agreed with the gentleman with is that people need to be careful. You can't just go taking supplements like a crazy person, especially if you're on medication. But one of the things that I would have advocated, and I understand why they wouldn't advocate something like that because they're primarily Western medicine, is that a lot of the times people don't need to take those blood thinners, especially for the rest of their life. When somebody is telling you that you have to take blood thinners for the rest of your life, you need to start raising one eyebrow and then raise the next one. Or if you're skilled enough to raise both of them, raise both of them. Because that is not true. That's not true at all. Because blood thinners over a period of time is going to cause severe damage to not only your capillaries, your arteries, and your veins, but also to your entire cardiovascular system. And it's not Dr. Batson alone say that. If you go and you read the research, especially with the use of things like aspirin and that kind of thing, you need to be careful. What they wouldn't tell you is that omegas could actually replace, in some instances, blood thinners. And I have done that numerously, on numerous occasions, for numerous clients. All right? So that was just my part on that. No disrespect, but we could agree to disagree. Because I don't know if somebody might think our next big thing, somebody trying to come back to bite me. Not with me, wrong person. So the thing is, that is what I am saying. So don't feel that you don't need to take omegas. Don't ever think so. Because let me tell you something. One of the things that they realized, there were some studies that they did, New England Journal of Medicine. There was an article that they had, and then BBC had done a portion, I think it was like 3 years ago. I have it somewhere in my archives there. And one of the things that they were saying is that they were actually encouraging elderly people to eat nuts. Now, specific type of nuts. They were not referring to peanuts, but they're referring to things like almonds, cashew, walnuts, hazelnuts, those type of nuts. Do you know why? They were encouraging these seniors to have more nuts in the diet. Apart from the roughage, they also wanted them because of the omega-3 fatty acids that are present in nuts. Because what they realized is because of the decline of persons having this nuts in the diet, they realized that their instances of vascular dementia and all these type of things became more prevalent. So what does that tell you? Make seeds your friend. I always tell people seeds are some of the most important aspects of nutrition. Why? Seeds give way to what? Life for them. Do you know what a seed contains? A seed contains life, a life force that is stronger than most things. Think about it. Life comes from a seed. So if you start consuming seeds, what are you essentially eating? Living food, living body. Dead food, dead body. So you see things like flaxseed, chia seeds, pumpkin seed, sunflower seed. Your oils, olive oil, coconut oil. Listen to me. Don't let nobody shortchange and talk a pack of nonsense in your ears about coconut oil and gold. And if anybody come with that nonsense now, run them. They're real, they're folly, they're stupidness. You hear what is I telling you? So make it your business to take a little teaspoon of coconut oil in the morning, say your prayers. Your olive oil, your little teaspoon of olive oil, and you will see for yourself the difference that makes, especially as regards to what we're talking about here. So with that being said, let me give you telephone numbers and let me tell you what we offer at Batson and Associates. Because you could add to the thing, you could always better your best. Look, ginkgo, for example, everybody know about ginkgo. The only thing is you need to go and get a proper brand of ginkgo. Now, do not ask me on the people live or when you call me what thing I'm calling name, because all you go get Batson a court case. However, it is vitally important that those things are part of your regime. You know why? Our forefathers. So go down, if you could go down 500 years ago, or maybe 200 years ago, remember they had some little proper thing to eat still. You know? The food that we have now, good food is scarcity because production is less. To plant organic, I think is more expensive. It takes longer and it's more expensive for people. So a lot of persons, you know, when it comes to organic, they mightn't be able to afford everything. We understand that. But you must be able, you can't tell me you can't buy some cold pressed coconut oil. How much for a bottle of cold pressed coconut oil? I'm sure it's not $1 million. Million Guyanese possibly, but not $1 million TT. So don't get fooled in that thing we're talking about, oh, thing expensive. And listen to me, a stroke is one of the most expensive ailments you could ever get. I always tell people, if it is you could have pick, if you could have go in a room and pick an ailment, I am picking stroke. I don't want kidney, I don't want renal failure, neither. I'm skipping that. And I go by heart attack. I go say, all right, I'll hit my little heart attack here. Because you know why? You'll live. Stroke patients, especially, the thing is, let me tell you something. When you get stroke, anybody who has been debilitated by a stroke and get a serious stroke, ladies and gentlemen, that was not the first stroke that you got. You have plenty stroke you get and you don't know. There is something known as ischemic. There's something called a CT scan, right? CT scans are computer tomography. So what a CT scan really is a three-dimensional X-ray. So what it does, it takes X-ray or like ultrasounds from different perspectives. So when you finish, you get a three-dimensional perspective. That's really what a CT scan is, right? When you do CT scans, most stroke patients, there's something they see called ischemic lesions. You remember I spoke about something called TIA, transient ischemic attacks? It means that you had multiple strokes, but the strokes were mini strokes and you were not aware of it. You may have gotten a really bad headache. You may have gotten an issue where your eyes started to hurt you and you find your vision was a little dim for a little period of time. Because there are symptomologies, because some Western medical professionals disagree and say that you do not know when you have had a TIA, and I disagree with that. Because this is my brain you're talking about. If my brain stops functioning at some point in time, you're trying to tell me to realize what's going on with me. It mightn't be something serious, but what I'm saying to you. So look at that. If you have lapsing in memory, if you're getting severe, all of a sudden you're getting bad headaches and you're feeling like somebody's sticking something, a knife inside your temple, or listen to me, something is wrong with you. And an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Mind your business. And that's where people like Batson and Associates comes in. There's a test that we do called a magnetic resonance analysis scan. Now, all kind of people this debate diagnostics. Some people say tomography scan better. Some people say MRI better. Some people say, I don't get in anything. It depends on what you're looking at. Because, for example, if I deal with a cancer patient, I am not running for biopsy. I am not a fan of biopsies, and I make that abundantly and emphatically clear to anyone. There are a lot of medical professionals who would not agree with me. Okay, good, we agree to disagree. Because I don't understand why it is you want to go and cut out a piece of me to go to send it in a lab to determine pathology. Really? So the piece that you cut out, when you cut it out, what will happen to it? What's going on with me? You now open me up to infection and you open me up to blood clots, depending on the cut, especially if you do prostate biopsy. Because they have to go inside you and watch me, and that cutting is some big pieces of junk of flesh they're taking out in there to go to test to come to tell me whether I have cancer or not. Okay, fine. Some people will say, Dr. Batson, I want to do it. I don't. That's your business. Nobody do no biopsy on me. I prefer sending it to a CT scan, because what the CT will do, the CT will going to give us, based on the aspect of what a CT scan does, three-dimensional, we're going to be able to see, and then the sonographer or the radiographer, and usually is a radiology consultant, who is a MD, is the person who interprets a CT scan. So it's not a dum-dum reading this, it's somebody with a lot of intelligence who would be able to say the possible existence of some sort of mastitis they're seeing, which means the possibility of cancer. You do a CA1, 2, different type of CA tests, and we could determine that. But the thing is, it gives us a clear indication in the brain space or in the abdominal space or wherever we look in to say, hey, listen to me. This is what we see and this is what we need to start to address. Non-invasive. I am always non-invasive first. If God forbid, water more than flour, because the thing is, if you leave things long enough to fester, then you need to deal with the knife. I'll say that again. If you leave things long enough to fester, you're going to have to deal with the knife. You're going to have to do surgery. Because there are some people who say, Dr. Batson, I don't care what they say, I'm not doing surgery. No, and sometimes I tell them, I say, ma'am, sir, with all due respect to you, you have waited too long, and I can help you with this problem to an extent, but you need to see a surgeon because of how bad the situation is. Because always remember, in the whole aspect of anatomy and physiology and the body, Because the body is 5 particular aspects, and I've said this before. You have a spiritual body, you have a supramental body, which is your subconscious mind. You have a mental body, which is your conscious mind. You have a vital body, which is your energy body. And your last body is your physical body. Spiritual, supramental, mental, vital, physical body. In emergency, the body that has to be fixed first is which body? You can't fix it. Well, I mean, your spiritual body. You can say some prayers. Nothing wrong with that. Prayer is something we know does work. But the body that has to be addressed is the physical body, you know. God forbid you get in a car accident and the bounce here. You go come by Batson to drink circulation tea. No. You have to go in the emergency room. They need to do, depending on the extent of the damage, is surgery, because what we have to do first is fix the physical body. When that physical body start back to patch up and work, then we will fix the rest. And that is what people have to understand. And Dominic, that is what a lot of people don't get, which is why I tell them integrative medicine is the medicine of the future, because medical doctors will have to work. If it is, they will not necessarily have to work. Let me phrase that differently. You want a good balance of medicine, you need a man like Batson and you need another doctor. I am telling you. Because you can't have no diabetes. You can't have no hypertension. And you only sucking tablets, eating foolishness. You wouldn't even exercise. You wouldn't move from the couch and talking stupidness about, I had the pressure under control. You stay right there with that pressure under control. 10 years in your waist, and the next thing you go and do a kidney function test, and your GFR is 1 or 2. You know what that means? Your kidney has failed on you. Why? Because you're suffering with blood pressure for years. You wouldn't change your diet. You wouldn't stop the people on them salty food. You wouldn't ease up on the meat. You wouldn't say, well, I would take a sneakers or go and buy good shoes. And if you had to walk around your couch 100 times, if that is your situation, then do it. Now it's rainy season. I don't expect any tanty and grandpa to be going and walking on no wet road, but to fall to break your back. To say Batson said to do exercise. Walk in your yard. If you know your yard ain't clean, go and get a power washer. Call people. The people is power wash now. Or everybody have a power washer. Clean your yard and walk there. But the thing is, you have to do some form of exercise. So the point I'm making, you cannot sit down with hypertension. Let me tell you something. If it is nothing, listen to me. Diabetes bad, but I always tell people, you see blood pressure? I do not want hypertension. Hypertension will kill you in the morning. And listen to me. A lot of the times when hypertension giving you trouble, the death is not an immediate death. No. That's a suffer death. You have kidney failure. You have to be on dialysis. You know what dialysis is? You ever go and sit down in a dialysis center? You ever see a dialysis machine in operation? Listen to me. You will watch me. You will drink. You start drinking water from now till first you're free to end up inside of it. It is not a nice thing. It's not a nice reality. And the majority of people who end up on renal failure are hypertension sufferers. So let me tell you something this morning. If you, especially men, because you know they're hardened and don't listen to nobody, and all they feel, all they're invincible, do not play the fool with high blood pressure. Because let me tell you something, that is a losing battle. You cannot fight hypertension. I don't care how strong he is. I don't care. I remember an incident with somebody who came to me some years ago. They came, they brought the partner, and the test was ready for them. And they decided, they said, well, here what? You're here already now. Do the test. And I did the test on this particular individual. Macho-ness, sir. Say a thing. I said, listen to me. I said, brother man, and watch me. I just always tell people, anyway, let me finish what I'm saying, and then I will tell you something. So I say, boss man. He say, well, where you see there? I say, you ain't looking good, no, brother man. So I mean, I ain't looking good. Man started beating chest. He said, boy, I just drink this, I just eat that. I say, shut up. I say, all right, shut up. Where you see there? Now I as a professional, I telling you what I see, and you telling me it's not that. No problem, brother man. You pay your money, I make sure I give you a service. Even if I have to tell you for free, I'll tell you. I say, boss man, watch yourself. You're looking a little strokish here, your pressure is be high. Yeah, sometimes it's be a little 150, a little 175, a little 190. But that's when I stress out with business and thing. But I good, I functioning. I say, erection good and thing. Yeah, I good. It's all right, brother. I say, but watch yourself, Start to drink some water. I say, if you just drink alcohol, you just drink. He say, well, yeah, just take a little drink thing. I say, no, you don't take no little drink. You just drink plenty. I say, and you're eating too much meat. Change up that diet. I healthy, ting. That same individual, 2 years after, came back in my office. And you know what they come in? They came in a wheelchair. You know what they got? Not one stroke, not 2 strokes, not 3 strokes, not 4, 5. Over a period of about 9 months. That same individual who said, this and as a shutter and as a stunner and as a this and a that and all kind of thing. So I am not saying that to say that I know everything. But listen to me, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. If you know you have a blood pressure problem, ladies and gentlemen, Jim, Jane, Mary, whatever your name is, mind your business and start to take care of yourself. Start drinking more water. Do some exercise. As I say, if you have to walk around the couch 100 times, 200 times, 300 times, 500 times to make the distance, then do that. Stop making excuses. You know, here's a meat mouth. Most people who like a lot of meat, they suffer from high blood pressure. And I have explained this 100 times. That has to do with the protein and the digestion and the nitrogenous waste that is created when you eat that amount of meat. You know, you like hog, you know you love oink, 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 and you're greedy for that, make sure and take a cleanse. If you don't feel to come by Batson and buy no Santulan, fine. Go, it must have something. It wouldn't be as good, but it got something out there for you to take. But my point is, do not sit down and play stupid and play with your life, because that is what people just be doing. You know? Some always be playing Russian roulette with all their life. And then when you come down, because let me tell you something, I feel sorry. When I tell you I feel sorry, nothing does hurt me more when I get dialysis people to deal with. Because watch me, it is not a nice thing. You could imagine you reach a stage in your life where you're not urinating again. You know what I mean? You're not peeing. You're not God, Almighty God. When He created this body, gave you a passage, a bladder for you to urinate. Any man could make this body that you have here. Look at saying that I'm a pause reason. The Bible says you are wonderfully made. And I no joke. There is no telescope they can make that can match the human eye. Well, don't talk about scent. There is nothing. I mean, yes, we have dogs that could smell way better than human beings. But dogs don't have emotion. They don't. The level at which we operate from a mental perspective, from an emotional perspective, dogs can't do that. There are some aspects of the animal kingdom. There are animals that can run faster than us. There are animals that are stronger than us. You could go and fight with a gorilla or a bear. You're mad? When you're talking about PSI, the pounds per square inch, if on an alligator or a lion or a bear or something like that, the human being doesn't have that. So compared to the other animals, we may not be as strong, we may not be as fast, but I'm telling you, the body that you get with this mental aspect, the emotional aspect, speech, the only other animals in the animal kingdom that could come close to what speech is dolphins. And they're far off from what human beings. So you're wonderfully made. You get a good gift. It's like if somebody buy some kind of Ferrari or something and they give you it, and they say, hey, you ain't putting gas, or you ain't putting oil, you ain't changing all your driving, you can do all kind of thing. And when it's shut down now, you want it. That's what you're doing yourself. As I always tell them, ambulance is the tow truck for people, not for human beings. It's about tow truck for us. The tow truck is the ambulance. When water more than flour and the paint started jamming and they call ambulance, all the people who just be saying something and they kill me. You know them. All you know them kinds of? Stop drink rum. Oh God. My great grandmother drink rum and she lived to 110. Oh really? You don't know your great grandmother was eating? And you don't know the genetics that she had. I saw granny was eating yam every day. My grandmother smoked tobacco for how much years, and look, she lived how long? Oh, really? Your grandmother living at a different time. You know what dongs and series and all kind of things she eat? When last you see dongs and series, Dominic? Huh? When last you see balata? When last you eat a good fish? I went to Tobago the other day. Let me say a shout out to Mr. Bingy and his lovely wife. Lord, I just never remember this lady name. I will remember before the program. And I had some wonderful Tobago fish. Watch me, the fish in Tobago tastes different to Trinidad fish. It's
different, yeah, just different.
The man gave me a fish called, oh gosh, what's the name of the thing, boy? First, I watch man never eat. Watch me fish. That watch me, I fish for your money, you know. Nice proper thing with omega inside. I eat a little good sometime. Though, I mean, yes, things little expensive. We know now, oh God, flour. And I tell them when they raise flour, I say, well, plenty people belly go get small. Some will go start to fit back in clothes. And all the button will stop kissing because all the belly will go down because all will eat less bread, less roti, less doubles because they raise flour. Start to drink more tea. So I say all of that to say, all you need to take better care of yourself. You know you have a problem, and let me tell you something. Don't be stalling it and say, oh God, I go see about that now. I go see about that next week, and then next week turn to next month, and next month turn to next year. And then 5 years from now is because your pressure high, and God forbid you get a stroke or you end up with kidney. Please pay attention to yourself, mind your business. So with that being said, let me give you your telephone numbers, let me give you your location, and let us open the telephone lines. For the Shogunas office, keep in mind we do have our open clinic days. Shogunas office, that number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. The number for David is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And the Tobago office is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. Shogunas office is located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. We also on the corner of Ramsamouch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Davie. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. And Tobago is the Triangle building in Scarborough, Tobago. Those numbers again, Shogunas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Davie is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago is 226-4553. Again, that's 226-4553. And we have a number of things for high blood pressure. I mean, imagine we have a hypertension tea. There's a next tea that we bring there that has a combination of some hawthorn, it has some olive leaf. I find that combination works really well because I had some people with blood pressure 200 and something, and that helped them significantly. And usually hypertension is just a little bit of imbalances and some cleansing and thing, but appealing to you this morning. Do not play with high blood pressure. And let me tell you something before we open the line. Don't think the more blood pressure medication you have to use is the worst of it. It's no self-stroke waiting for you somewhere around the corner. It's just a matter of time. They're like bandit, they're outside. They didn't come inside yet, but they're right there. They're waiting on you. Do not play the fool, especially if you know somehow you had to take 2 nifedipine, 2 enalapril, you had to take a Lasix. You have to be something is significantly and seriously wrong. That inflammation in your blood vessels, it don't pass critical mass. You like a time bomb, you're just waiting to blow up. All right? So.
And well, fellas, you know, it's detrimental to your good health.
Okay, not only, not only that, it's detrimental to the family affairs regards, so not trying to be, facetious and rude here, but even as regards to your erection, because those things that affect your erection, it's time for some of you to start eating hot food again. Instead of cold food, these women and them upset because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And the reason for that is because you're not healthy, you're slipping. And then this one-time thing, all it is want to take and kill all yourself. Mind your business. Take care of your circulation. Drink a little. Stop drinking this sort of cold water all you like. You didn't realize everybody who's drinking cold water, their belly is big, 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 big. Some of the biggest, most disgusting belly you could see is people who like cold water. Stop drinking the cold water. It's not good for you. What you want? You want a memo? You want it in a poster? You want to put it on a billboard? Stop it. I don't care how hot the day is. It is not good for you. You are doing yourself an injustice when you drink that cold water. You're mashing up your digestive system and you're allowing your body to store a lot of unnecessary fat. That is why you have a big, disgusting looking belly that you alone must be comfortable with. Stop it. All right, Dominic. Open your line, sir.
I have to commend you. For when you were discussing that prostate biopsy.
Yes.
You stopped. You are about to say what you wanted to say. So you guys only spoke in the back space. You was about to say it. And just pull right back and say
Yeah. I said my press this morning, and so the Holy Spirit. But
I appreciate it.
Oh gosh.
The whole thing, I said the whole disgusting thing, and I come out of it.
Yeah.
So, my friends, I see we have a lot of messages on the board right now, so we're going to just touch the board and see your comments. So again, you can send your messages to 333-9950, 333-9950. And of course, we'll take your calls in just a bit at 625-2759 or 624-7729. Just trying to get through some of the messages on the board. All right. Good morning, Dr. Batson. What do you give to an 18-month-old baby? He has a cold on his chest and a fever. Fever's gone, and the doctor says it's now bronchiolitis.
Yeah. Okay. You need some silver with some mineral formula. I can't get no home remedy for that. That is straight up silver with mineral formula. Because you see, the thing is, there's an infection, and it's infection now that is affecting the lungs significantly, hence the diagnosis. So people who are diagnosed with bronchitis, pneumonia, asthma, whatever the case may be, that's simply a lung infection that just hasn't gone enough. That's what that is. So silver and mineral formula, the good thing about silver with mineral formula is that you would give a newborn. Baby could come out today. If it is in terms of feeding, might be a little difficult, but you can give them it immediately and it would not cause any damage and it would get rid of the infection.
Okay. All right. Next up. Okay, so someone says that they were told that black seed and honey combined together first thing in the morning is good for the immune system.
Yeah.
This with half cup of warm water. You agree with this, right?
Yeah, I agree. Totally. I had my black seed oil this morning. I'm a big advocate of that. It's called Nigella sativia. And if you do research on that, that is primarily black cumin. And if you do research on cumin, especially from different parts of the world, so you're looking at Iran, Iraq, that's a big thing in Muslim culture as well, because of the properties that it has. There's a particular property in that, just very quickly, that does immense work on the immune system. Immense. So I'm all out for that. You have it, use it.
You got the royal jelly?
Actually, let me say it reached on way, but we still waiting for clearance. Yeah. My people message me. We're just waiting to get our appointment and here, and then we should have it. But don't say that too hard, because I feel the list I have, I feel will come there not enough. Yeah.
See, as a man of the people, like I know somebody's out there just thinking, should get the royal jelly.
Yeah, let me hear them quickly. We have circulation tea, gastro tea, liver tea, kidney tea. We didn't get lungs this time. We get in lungs tea in this batch coming here, which is week after next. We have Santulan and all too. I have to apologize for that. We had run out of Santulan. However, we will get Santulan next week, please God. Yeah. So we have the majority of stuff. We have your nerve restore, your cerebral, your women's formula, your prostate formula. We are thing, man. And wherever we do have call, put your name there. We will make sure and give you a call.
Okay. All right. So next up, someone says that they're going through menopause, feeling very nervous and depressed, and their mind is all over.
Yeah,
is there something that they can use at home for the time?
All right. At home, we could use it at home, boy. You can get some tea. You can always get some chamomile tea. But your brand, you see, the thing is, I am a brand specific person. I'm doing this 13 years now, and I encounter some good rubbish on the market. Some of the rubbish I used to take and all. And when I start taking proper thing, I was like, no taking thing, man. So, brand specific home. If you use some rough skin lemon, hot water, that would help. If you do not suffer from hypertension, or even if you have hypertension, I recommend a quarter teaspoon of baking soda in 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning. Those things will give you some sort of help, but you need more help, because the thing is PMS, which is postmenopausal syndrome, is a very serious, debilitating, or can become debilitating because of how it interferes with your central nervous system. So you find women with this situation have serious anxiety and depression problems. And the thing is, you don't want to leave it there and it gets bad, and then you reach by a doctor. And what they're going to recommend for you, they're going to give you amitriptyline, they might recommend some Zoloft. What they give you again for that, boy, they were going to recommend. So in other words, you're going to get some sleeping tablets. You might get some serotonin uptake inhibitors. But again, long-term use becomes problematic. In terms of your diet, I would recommend you use more eggs. You don't necessarily need to throw out the yellow of your eggs, please, people. Unless it is your bodybuilder and you're going up for competition next week and you're trying to eliminate all fat from the body. But your yellow of your egg is very important. So have some of that. You could include your fish, get some nuts, some grains, some chia seeds, flax seeds in there. That will help you out a little bit. In terms of what we offer at Batson Associates, we actually have a menopause tea. I tell you, we have tea for everything, you know. So this menopause tea that we have actually helped significantly with that. The Nerve Restore, big product, big product. That's actually one of my favorite products. I love that product. It improves sleep significantly. It improves cognitive function. It improves, or what it is an adaptogen. So what it actually does is helps your body deal with stress. There are few things in the supplemental world that fall in the category of adaptogens put together like that. So it actually helps with anxiety. It helps with sleep. It literally relaxes you so that you don't go about choking people, especially so those of you who work in stressful job and you have a boss who must be a devil or behaves like such, or co-workers, children, husband, you're stressed out. Let me tell you something. Give that product a try. You will not be disappointed. You'll not be disappointed. Some of y'all might need 2 or 3 bottles because the dosage is normally 1 at breakfast or dinner. And the bottle has 30 in it. But some people, they need, 30 boy? Yeah. Some people might need, if you think real bad with you might need 2 a day. But that's just a therapeutic dose because of the deficiency that you have. But once you're up and your body starts functioning properly, you now require a maintenance dose, which might be 1 every 3 days or something like that. So look at the practicality of how it may be used to correct the situation that you have. Back to you, Dominic, sir.
Okay. Someone is asking here, can the hypertension tea and the circulation tea be used together?
Okay, together in the sense of, okay, let me get my English here. Okay, so not simultaneously. They can be used together in the sense that you could drink circulation tea Monday and you could drink hypertension tea Tuesday. I don't advise people mix the teas. Yeah, just out. I don't believe it would really do any. But I mean, ounce of prevention better than the pound cure. You're doing circulation tea, and how I use those teas, I would normally take 2 tea bags. I have a very big teacup. I mean, my teacup is like maybe about 16 ounces, or it could be more, could be a 20 ounce. And I would use those bags. I would steep it like about 2 or 3 times. I steep in the living daylights out of those teas because good quality. It's a little more costly compared to a lot of the other teas, but it's a quality product. So get value for your money out of your product. You didn't pick up your money in the road, and Batson has no intention of robbing anyone. So get value for your money. Use your product. You know what I do with those teas as well too? Dominic, to tell you how I disgusting. I just dry the tea and open the bag and I sprinkle it on my food, and I had to get everything out of that. Every single thing.
Nice. Because I'm even reading the question here and I'm saying, is it that you're afraid of it counteracting one or the other?
I mean, I don't think it would. I mean, I am not my expertise where that is concerned, because when I talk about lab work and you have to break down things from a molecular level and all them kind of things. I just say at the end of the day, it is more practical to use the teas by themselves. Because that's something, as we on this topic, let me say something quickly. Because that's one of the things that a lot of people do where they mix certain things that should not be mixed together. Like, for example, when you're drinking soursop tea, you shouldn't really mix soursop with anything else in it. Because soursop has a sedative, soursop behaves like a sedative. There is a particular compound in soursop that has sedative properties associated with it. And again, God in his wisdom, when he created plants, all plants have specific properties that could either be sedatives. Look, for example, marijuana. We know marijuana has what effect on the body? Well, the one that people usually smoke or whatever the case may be. Those actually behave now, and it affects the central nervous system, where you could have, it could induce things like, oh Lord, where you actually start to see things, hallucinate, right, that's what. Hallucinogens and those type of things. So plants are very, very important. But you just need to be a little careful the way you're using things. So I usually tell persons, when you're using specific things, use them by themselves. And in this particular case, with the T's, use them by themselves in that particular aspect.
All right, my friends, they're really just trying to get through your messages because I see you guys have been messaging very early. So really trying to get through as many as we can this morning for our program. Dr. Batson, hello. What causes one to feel as though there is air or pressure in the ears? And you have to pinch your nose to settle the air pressure. What can be done for this?
Let me hear that again. So repeat that question.
All right. So they're asking what causes one to feel as though there's air pressure in the ears, and you have to pinch your nose to settle the air pressure, or yawning. I know that folks tend to yawn or chew gum.
So yawn or chew, yeah. I'm not going to say that. So sometimes it could be air pockets for a number of reasons. Usually people who experience that is people with a lot of gas. So you need to either eat on time or start drinking more tea. And let me say something just quickly. If you know you have been out for the day, or you didn't get to eat for a period of time, and you are going home or whatever the case may be, and you're going to have a meal, do not eat when you have missed your meals immediately. So in other words, let's say you were supposed to have lunch at 12, you were out doing business, you went to an appointment, whatever the case may be, and it's now 4 o'clock and you haven't eaten anything. Do not go and put food on your stomach. Just like that. What you should do is get some sort of hot tea, no milk. Do not use anything with milk and sugar. Anytime you use milk there, you're creating a situation for serious gas. That gas can move, go by your heart, go by your head, go by your lung. What you do is you drink anything between, now it might sound like a lot for people, but take what I'm telling you. You're going to thank me for this. You drink about 2 cups of hot tea, as hot as you could take it, and that is to dispel the gas. You might belch a little bit, you might pass a little 1 or 2 little flaters. Nothing wrong with that. And then about 10 minutes after, 15 minutes after, in fact, no, about 30 minutes after, you can have your meal. I know you may be very hungry, and you might be saying, but Dr. Batson is a mad man. When I reach home from work, because you know there are people who, because of their schedule, they do not get to eat throughout the day. And then some of you're like workaholics, so you know sometimes you start something and you want to get it done. And you do not wait. You work hard for the day. You reach home and go and eat a set of food just like that. You are going to kill it. You're creating an environment that is conducive for the building of gas and gastrointestinal problems. Right? You're buying your trouble, as the old people say, wholesale. So have a hot cup of tea. I suggest about a 20-ounce cup. Get a good size cup, then mini cup. Oh, they're supposed to have some big teacup in all their house. I don't need to call name. Them people and them who have them set of fancy color curtain and that set of bright thing, go buy them. That's some nice big teacup. And yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? I don't want to call name. Right? They have thing. They have place right in Europe. They go and get a good, nice big teacup and start your tea. There's a Chinese from today. Hot tea all the way. And Dominic, you will see people, when people do that, listen to me, down to your weight, your energy level is completely different. It's a reason why Chinese, as always tell all of that. Chinese never die, flat nose and chinky eye. Yes, sir. You hear that long time, huh?
Long time.
Long time you hear that. That was something we used to say. That is something we used to say in school.
Yeah.
You remember? You remember this one too? You remember when somebody, you remember when last year here, fatty bully? Oh Lord, somebody tell you he's a fatty bully. Dominic killing himself on the next side, we boy. Somebody tell you he's a fatty bully. Oh God.
Someone is asking, is there any test that can determine if one has any trace of cancer in any part of their body?
Well, yeah, you could do a CA1, 2. Let me see if I can remember, because these numbers, this be different. I know they have a CA. So I think it's like 3 or 4 different cancer antigen tests that they have. There is also something known as a C-reactive protein. Those are the tests that determine high levels of inflammation in your body. Excuse me. There is also something known as ESR, which is erythrocyte sedimentation ratio. That test also gives you an indication of inflammation. And usually when you have high ESRs, you have high C-reactive protein, you have high cancer antigen test, it usually is pointing to serious cancer somewhere later down the road. It may not, so it's an early indicator. Some medical professionals believe in this biopsy situation. As I said, I am not a fan of biopsies. You know, those other tests you can do. And again, remember, once you're going the route of prevention, you stack the odds in your favor, and as a result of that, you always tend to fare better. We're getting too much cancer diagnosis in this country. It is ridiculous, and serious forms of cancer. But a lot of that has to do with alcohol. A lot of that has to do with stress. You know, very quickly. That's why I like my nerve restoring. I tell you, that thing is calm here, you know, because when your cortisol levels are very high, off the top of the charts, it creates a high inflammation threshold, and it creates an environment that is conducive for cancer. Women, I'll give you a very quick example. There was a study that they did with women who were in domestic violence, abusive relationships, and that type of thing in their early life. Some of them got out of it. Most of them did. But what they realized is that later on in their lives, the majority of these women developed cancer, various types of cancer. There was also a doctor who did a barrage of research where he found that people who went through extreme stress, and I think I had said this before, what happened is that the man was good. His son went on vacation with his fiancée in some part of France or Italy or something, and they were robbed. And during the robbery, you know, the son just put up a little fight, and they ended up killing him and the young lady. This particular gentleman got the news. Of course, he was distraught. He had to bury his son, his daughter-in-law to be, whatever the case may be. So grief. And a year after, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And this is someone, prior to that situation, was in the peak of health. Nothing was wrong with him. Because he is in the medical field, he would check himself. He was actually a practitioner of both Western and natural medicine. So he's quite balanced in his approach to a lot of things. You know, good eat, he eats well, a swimmer, you know, fit person. Anyway, the whole long and short of the story is that when that happened to him, of course, he was able to cure himself, heal himself. And what he did is that he did some extensive research on over 30,000 people who would have had high stress issues, divorce, loss of a loved one, domestic abuse for years, and that type of thing. And what they realized is that all these persons who were diagnosed with cancer, there were serious stressors in their lives, in their life rather. And he pointed to that as one of the causes of cancer. There are a lot of people who try to debunk it. I am one of the persons who is total agreement, because I have met persons who have been diagnosed with cancer, who have cancer, and they were not exposed to carcinogens. They didn't work in oil and gas. They were not auto mechanics. They weren't persons who were gardeners. So they weren't exposed to a lot of chemicals. They ate pretty well. They didn't eat a lot of barbecue food, a lot of sausages, processed meat, and those type of things, which we know contain carcinogens. So in other words, those factors were not, they didn't even have a genetic factor, and it pointed to stress. So that just helps you to understand how you need to take care of yourself. And you know, stress, try your best to manage stress, because stress literally can give you cancer. Okay?
Right. Okay, Dr. Batson, I'd like to hear about the health benefits of your cerebral products, and when will you be getting these at the Shogunas branch?
Okay, good. So cerebral, as far as I understand, they got on Saturday. So you could always call the office because they got product on Saturday. And cerebral is primarily, again, this product has an adaptogen in it. There is something known as Bacopa mumrai, which is a plant that is from Ayurvedic medicine. And one of the things that it has the ability to do, it literally makes you more intelligent, because it helps you to focus, and it helps you to, it activates or elevates the aspect of the brain that deals with memory, attention, cognitive function. So it actually helps significantly in improving memory, short-term and long-term memory, cognitive function. So I usually recommend that together with nerve restore for some persons who may be showing early signs of vascular dementia, Parkinson, those type of things.
All right. Next up, someone asked if migraines can play a part in aneurysms.
Of course.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, they can.
This is one type of the headaches that
you have to be very careful of. And what they also have to be careful of, Dominic, let me say quickly, is that people who have pain, and headaches are a form of pain, find themselves using a lot of painkillers excessively. You mightn't find you using it excessively, you know. Let me tell you something. One painkiller for the year is too much. Right? So think about all always be taking 10 and 15 and you want this and that and that's a problem that the US has, you know. I don't know if you have seen anything recently. The United States literally has in a war right now with OCT, you know, with these over-the-counter pain medics, because what people do is that they abuse them. And I mean, the poor people in pain and they don't know better, but they abuse it. And what they realize is that it is causing serious gastrointestinal problems. It is causing a lot of cancer. It is causing serious debilitating mental problems. The same vascular dementia, the same Alzheimer's, the same Parkinson, the same tremor situation, because these things significantly affect your central nervous system. Remember, what painkillers do is don't fix the problem, you know. They interfere with the nerve and the synaptic response of the nerve endings to numb the situation. If you use that every day, we are 365 days in the year. If you're taking painkiller every day for 10 years, you would have used over 3,000. You can imagine what you have done to your central nervous system. It's like when neighbor ain't talking to you, your central nervous system don't have nothing to do with you right now. So that is why you need to pay very close attention to that. You have pain, there's a natural pain product that we have at Batson and Associates. It has astaxanthin in it. Great reviews. But a lot of the time, you have to fix the cause of the pain. What is causing your pain? You have rheumatoid arthritis? We could fix that. You have osteoarthritis? We could fix that. The thing is, are you willing to do the work to fix it? Because you have to stop the sugar. You have to stop the coffee. You know, this thing that all they love, I don't know what it is all they have with coffee, so that all they can use coffee once a month or leave it alone. At this point in time, it is not good for you. Leave it alone. The same thing with milk. I meet somebody the other day, they say, I have to have a glass of milk every day. I say, you, no offense, you're a big horse. So you're talking about you have to have a glass of milk. Milk is for babies. You understand? The only place you were supposed to get milk was from your mother's breast. If she expelled, you drink it from her bottle. But milk is for babies. Big, hardback, grown people and growing children should not be using milk. Go and get some carrot, get some beetroot, and start to feed children properly so that they can have proper bone and mental development. Milk is for babies. Breast milk. And I know not all you get no breast milk now, because women only produce breast milk unless they have a hormonal challenge when they are pregnant. Good.
Right, so let's see, we have a voice note here.
Good morning, Dominic. Could you hear what tell Dr. Batson? You see the drink that he was talking about with the molasses, the peanut butter, the Quaker oats, the plantain, I even put that in CMOS, and this thing, pawpaw on the seed. Anytime I drink that, listen, for the night, I am diabetic. Well, the sugar under control. Don't like to say the word. I get such stress about once for the night and urinate. So I don't know if it, well, I believe it does something to even your urinary tract. Tell him that for me, please.
Okay.
That Santiman is boss. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, so all I hear that, eh? So you see, yeah, and most likely it will be because of the pawpaw seeds, eh? But that mix and with that plantain, watch me, boss. I tell you, sometimes you could even put a little green fig in it. Wash your skin nice. You cut off your head, you cut off your tail, and you blend them up, man. Now, careful how some all just let me say something, Dominic. Careful how some all drinking that, eh? Right. The Godfather. I don't know how much Godfather and Dominic have. I have enough already.
All right. So let's see. Back to the board. All right, so someone is asking, is Morbi a blood thinner, and what is jaundice, and how is it cured?
Well, Morbi, if you have really Morbi bark is a blood thinner. It actually is a cleanser as well too. Morbi, the thing is, jaundice, well, jaundice is usually you see yellowing of the skin, yellowing of the eyes, and that's a condition of your liver. So it means the liver, you have in a situation with bile, and as a result of that, hence the reason why you're getting that sort of yellowish color. The thing is, babies, usually a lot of times when babies are born, they have it. And they have linked that, in terms of connection with the mother, the diet, and that type of thing. And it's very easy. They usually keep them under the light or you walk them in the sun for a certain period of time because it is an indication of some aspect of vitamin D, D3 deficiency. But it also has a lot to do when you're dealing with an adult. It means that liver needs to be detoxified. So you're looking at the liver tea, you're looking at Santulan with the alkagen water. And, the person who just said Santulan is boss, thank you very much for that. Comment there, that compliment, because it really is a good product. In fact, I have mine in my glass in the car there for when I finish my program to drink my own, because it's a 7-channel detox and it detoxifies gently but effectively kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. And that over a period of time, you see a significant change in your skin. Your complexion actually lightens because toxins. People don't understand that when you have a lot of toxins in your body, your complexion is usually not as radiant as it should be. Your hair don't grow the way it's supposed to. Your nails, your fingernails don't look the way that they're supposed to. Your energy level, your sleep. And that is why it is imperative that, you actually do a detox like that. Again, keep in mind, we're having open clinic days that are going to resume, which is where we're going to have walk-ins. I must apologize, side note, last week, Wednesday, in Shogunas, we had a little bit of a mix-up. And they actually, because what we do for that, we do a number system. But the person who worked, they inadvertently, new individual, and they didn't realize that they told everybody to come at the same time. And that mixed up the thing, because what they were supposed to do was separate individuals in time spaces for every 3 hours. So let's say they had 6 individuals, and they say, well, okay, you're taking a number, and your number would be, your availability or time that you would be dealt with would be within this 2 hours. So that was an error on our part, and we had some people waiting there, a little longer than they should have. And I do apologize sincerely for that. And, we'll ensure that it doesn't happen again. It's a matter of working to better please you, to be more efficient, more effective in that particular aspect. So I do apologize for that again. And those telephone numbers that you can call, you can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261. That number is for the Shogunas office. For Debe, we are the corner of Ramsamut Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. The St. James office 08113 220-8113. That office is located in the Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. Again, 226-4553. Back to you, sir.
All right. Doc, could you tell us the best times to take Revitalizer and Digestive Balance?
Okay, so Revitalizer, you can take Revitalizer with your breakfast first thing in the morning. Keep in mind, let me say something quickly. The digestive, which one, balance or restore?
Balance.
Oh, digestive balance is usually, okay. This is not really tricky, but everybody different. There are some people who could use digestive balance before their meal. I think that may be about 25% of the people, because the majority, the next 75%, tend to feel nauseous or nausea. So I usually recommend it. And how I use mine, now I use mine after the meal, and I don't have any problem with nausea. Some people have problem with nausea after the meal. So I find the best way to use it is between the meal. So while you're eating, halfway in the meal, you take a little bit of water, you take it, and then you finish the meal. And that usually, in the general consensus, seems to be the more, the one that causes the least amount, or it causes any kind of nausea at all. With me, either way, I don't have a problem.
All right. So next up, I'm trying to combine some of the questions that we have on the board here so we can get
through with everybody. Right.
All right. So the first part here is for the vegetarians amongst us, all right?
Right.
Now, someone's asking if Santolan can help clear the arteries of those who are on this vegetarian diet. So, and also, does it clear the arteries? If you were to recommend a product that would clear arteries and stuff like that, would Santolan be just that? And for vegetarian friends, is this something that they can use even though they are not, or they're without using greasy foods?
Okay, so all right. Well, yes, it would. No, I mean, Santolan is a 7-channel detox. Sorry, it has something known as persimmon leaves, and persimmon leaves are what the Chinese use a lot in cleanse and tone blood vessels, capillaries, arteries, veins. So it would help to an extent. The thing is, but if you have severe blocked arteries, then we go the route of other things. So we're going to have to use maybe specific enzymes. We might use, and your protocol is going to be a bit different when we're dealing with severe blockage, especially carotid and major arteries. As regards to the vegetarian aspect of the question, so what they're saying is that if they are vegetarian, yes, you can use Santolan, because what you have to understand, you may not be necessarily eating meat and a lot of greasy food, but we have waste and toxins in the body as a result of metabolic functions. Remember, you have numerous metabolic functions, and these metabolic functions in the body actually produce waste. A perfect example is inhalation and inhaling and exhaling. You inhale what? You inhale oxygen and you exhale what? Carbon dioxide. Which is why when they had this mass, I am one of the first persons I was like, Jesus Christ, this thing is killing me. Because you're essentially almost breathing back in carbon dioxide, right? So you have to understand the normal metabolic functions in the body. A simple thing as digestion. When you look at when you're dealing with things like glucose and glucagon and those type of things. So you're going to have normal waste material and metabolic waste in the body, which needs assistance in being removed. Gone are the days when you say, because I remember someone, good client of mine, they're not from here, they live in the US, they had asked their medical practitioner if he or she advocates the use of cleansers, and the person said, well, no, your liver cleans itself and your kidney cleans itself and whatever cleans whatever. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that's the biggest pack of rubbish I ever hear in my life, because it's like saying your teeth just brush itself. Why do you brush your teeth? Why do you floss? Why do you bathe? Your skin don't clean itself, because the skin has that ability. There is some aspect of cleansing that the skin does. Sweating, you have different things with various oils on your skin, the sebum to protect and whatever the case may be. But you just bathe, right? And everybody know when you're bathing, a good bath is you either get a torch or you get some kind of rag. They just use rag now, but if you get a good torch and you scrub out your skin properly, and you use a white towel after, you still might see little muck on the towel. So the same applies inside. Remember, this is internal organs you're talking about here. These organs don't have access to much things, like how your skin have access to. Think about your teeth. Then you go by the dentist and you clean and you spit. Where do you see? All manner of things come out of there. When you smile, so you see everything clean out. So think about your organs inside. We're all dispersing. Some things not too good, some things good. The alcohol, soft drink, ice cream, milk, cheese, butter. Think of what you sit down and eat on a daily basis. 365 days in the year. And all of that pass through your system. Somehow you take a cleanse since you're born. And only in their 50s. So you can imagine, do the maths there. If there was to take all the food you ever eaten in your life and put it in front of you, where you feel that will fill up? Dominic? Where you feel? Think about it. And all of that pass through your gastrointestinal system. And you're trying to tell me that big, intelligent, in inverted commas, people watching me and telling me that I'm not supposed to take a cleanse? Well, only play stupid and follow the advice and see where we will end up.
All right. Let's see. Now, again, my friends, let's take a quick call here. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, Dr. Batson. Good morning, brother.
Good morning, Dominic here.
Dominic.
Go right there.
I've been listening to Dr. Batson's program for the longest while. I have some things to talk about I agree with, and I have some things I don't agree with.
No problem.
So, for instance, I am 70 years of age. And ever since I've been drinking milk, full cream powdered milk was clipped. Now it's Kerry Gold. I don't have a punch. I've been drinking milk for all those years. And I hear what it is. When I hear you don't drink milk, I don't agree with it. There are different types of milk, different types of brands. And then there's quality of cheese and all these sorts of things. That's what I call to say. And I have an uncle who loves cold water. If you ever get a punch, he loves that. And he loves that cold water. 70 years we're talking about.
Okay, good.
Right. But I agree with plenty things they say because you know he's professional.
Thank you, sir. Well, I mean, we could agree to disagree, you know. I mean, the thing is, I is not God. I don't know everything, but I mean, I have a little experience, so.
All right, well, thank you so very much for calling this morning. We do appreciate you. All right, 625-2759 or 624-7729. Those are the numbers. Again, trying to get through some of the messages on the board, but I see you guys have been, you know, really, really patient with me. So let's see how many we can get here quickly. Good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning.
Yes, pleasant morning to you.
Dr. Dominic and my brother, Doctor.
Sir, morning.
I'm the gentleman that's here. Now, you should know me by now. I'm Mr. Tubbs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's what you get concerning the milk. Because when I think I go to them, I drink the 2 liter bottle full every day.
Right.
I cannot walk to drink. And I love that.
When you say you drink a 2 liter bottle every day, that's what you said?
That's watermelon.
2 liter bottle.
By those things, I end up in hospital. And when I say to a young gentleman, I drink disinfect and I also drink yak. And I see no doctor. I feel no pain. I'm 73 years of age.
Good, good.
You understand? So I don't know. I agree with the gentleman what he said. Something that you said, I agree with you too, and some I don't agree.
No problem. I expect that.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. Tobigo.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, boss. You see, let me say something quickly. You know, as I said, I agree to disagree, but there's a saying. You know, the old people have a saying, go for luck is not. You ever hear the saying? Exactly so.
Yeah.
Exactly so. So the thing is, there are going to be exceptions to the rule. You know? Nobody not say no, you know. But what you have to understand, you see, what they may be forgetting is that the genetic makeup could be a different. Remember, some people come from, there's a saying, boy, I tell people, you know, you come from a good mold. So there are some people, because of the genetics that you have, you go stand up a little longer, you know. It's not to say that what you're doing per se isn't necessarily correct or 100% correct, but because of the stock that you come from, you're able to ward off some of the things for a little while longer. And that's what it is. And that's what it is. So that person who might be drinking cold water, you don't know. That person don't drink alcohol. They must never drink alcohol in their life. So because of that, you get a balance. And that's what you have to take into consideration. You know? So that's all I say. There are some things that, you know, they just not, because even with milk, as you say, because when you compare goat milk to cow milk is a better type of milk. The fat content is less. The nutrient aspect of it, there are some nutrient aspects associated with it. But when you compare, if you was to compare, let's say, beetroot, the calcium that you get from beetroot and the calcium that you get from milk, there is no comparison. None. When you look at the calcium you get from chia seeds as opposed to milk, there is no comparison. It is a more advanced aspect. When you look at the calcium you get from your nutrient-dense greens, so things like your wheatgrass, spirulina, chlorella, alfalfa, that type of thing. So you have to take into consideration. I know people who live to 105 and they smoke tobacco. I have my great-grandfather and them, they live, and they were Vincentian people. And you know people from St. Vincent, there's a particular way the small island people eat, even up to now. When you look at Grenada, St. Vincent, certain parts of Tobago, They have a strong, that foundation is a strong foundation. So if your foundation is strong than other persons, it means you could weather storms longer. You understand what I'm saying? You know, so.
Bridget say you drink gas in them.
Do you say? Well, I mean.
Yeah, disinfectant gas.
Disinfectant gas? When you was a young man, all right.
When he was a young man. All right, can you use garlic and beetroot to bring down blood pressure?
You can, but you have to be careful. So what it is, and let me tell you why you have to be careful. Beetroot has some aspect of something known as L-arginine in it. L-arginine is the precursor to nitric oxide. I actually carry nitric oxide supplements at Batson and Associates for that specific reason. But here what you have to do. If you're a hypertensive person and you have bad high blood pressure, you know you're at 2 something, 190 something, 180 something, over 1 something, do not go and blend the people beetroot and drink it just so. You will end up in the hospital. What you need to do is gradually, first of all, you need to hydrate properly. Start drinking more water and start to gradually do what I suggest you do, a light detox as well. Start to remove toxins from the body, because what beetroot is going to do, especially with that garlic, is the beetroot is going to start to push the blood. And if your blood have some little thickness inside of there, it is going to cause problems. You're going to cause problems. Some people, you're going to start to move clots. And depending on how you do it, you could end up in a situation where the situation is worse. Because I have told people, there's a particular product that we carry that is a nitric oxide product. And there was this particular client that we had when they came to us. And the person, they did not listen. I told the client, I said, listen to me. I know you're studying this blood pressure, because what happened, I think their sister or cousin or somebody had used the product and she got really good results with her blood pressure. But again, and that's what I'm saying, go for luck is not see for luck. Everybody different. So when they came and I did it, they say, well, you know, my cousin sent me here and they used this and she pressure going on real good and she's not taking the tablet again. I said, listen to me. You are a bit different because you're a little more toxic. You haven't taken a cleanse in a while and you do not drink water. So I suggest you do the water cleanse. This is what you have to do. You're going to drink the alkaline water. I am not going to let you use the Santulan. You're going to start to use the circulation tea for 2 weeks. And then when you finish, do that. Then start to use the L-arginine product. Mary went home and Mary decided to be contrary and do she own it. Because she finds she couldn't use it and the blood pressure going down. And she decided to drink the product. You know what happened to her? Straight in the hospital. The blood pressure went up 200 and something over 130 something. You know why that happened? The blood was not clean. And that example that I give you is the same that applies to men who do not do their cleanses, who do not drink enough water, and you go and you interfere with these medication that's supposed to help with erection, and you go. That is how they just die. Because the pressure inside of those blood vessels, the blood is too thick. You remember your blood dirty, you know? You ain't take no cleanse, you ain't take no cooling, and you want to go and take things to interfere with people's children. You will die right there. I'm not talking just because I feel to talk from the top of my head and know what it is I'm saying. Think about it. Why when you was older, when you was younger, sorry, before you get a purge, Dominic, what your parents used to give you, or your grandparents? Cooling. The cooling was for that purpose. You used to get some little, sometimes you get, you know, the Karaili, the wild Karaili. They will give you some wild Karaili, or they will take a hops bread and roast the hops bread on it. Why you think that is use that for cooling? Because that is hops. And when you burn it, you get what? You get this thing. So it almost similar to a little charcoal something. And you start to drink that as the cooling. And then they give you the big purge to move out the rubbish. You will go and use the people thing and you will dead. Or they must listen. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. You cannot do those things. Or they want to go and take Cialis and all this bacchanal. You're going to kill yourself. It's heart attack and stroke you're going to get. Because your blood is dirty. You're accustomed drinking alcohol, all kind of foolishness. And you decide you want to go and be a big tantos and go and interfere with people. You will die. Wonderful. Next.
Nice. Let's go. Yeah, good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, my brother.
Morning, sir.
This is the prophet, boy.
How you going, boy?
You guys going good? Dr. Batson?
Yes, sir.
I agree 100%. A lot of men in Trinidad doing what you say they should do.
Yeah.
And I have an experience. You see this thing about drinking milk and these things, all these things cause acid in the stomach. Milk is for a little baby and things. Big man has to drink the thing and you have to know what you're doing because you remember, the older you get the stomach, get less able to punctuate and making differently. So I don't think I'm saying use it. He was fortunate he just used it.
Yeah.
If he was sold to 100, he will live about 80.
Use a smart fella. Yep. Use a smart fella. Yeah.
And take your Korean bush. It has bovine too.
Yeah.
These things that they say. When you blood thick and you want to take Cialis and Viagra,
Yeah.
you're looking for trouble.
Yeah, you're looking for real trouble. Yep.
Why are we 100%? You're going to feel they're using this and they're using that. But they know their life going to be extended for
exactly so, for 10 or 20 years.
I have the experience with stomach that's good, with all these kind and the acid. You have to take magnesia. When you take magnesia now, it goes down the whole movements in your belly. And my father was so he had to live well, man. Because he's drinking punch and rum. So thanks for the wonderful program. God bless you, right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. So moving, let's see. It's about 10 minutes again for the program this morning, my friends, and I have a bunch of messages on the board here. Is club soda good to drink? I'll let Dr. Batson answer that.
You think that is a advance, huh?
Listen, I think I just want the smoke today. I think I sit in here and I get bored, I get a little bored, and I just want all the smoke right now. So, you know, remove
that is a rhetorical question. That does not require an answer.
Somebody
Next.
just wanted to pull it too.
So, yeah, somebody want to trouble me, but don't worry, love still.
Yeah, I love still, exactly. Morning, Dr. Batson. Pawpaw leaves tea and pawpaw leaves juice. Is it healthy to drink a cup a day for health care? What is your recommendation?
Okay, you can use it, but not a day. You can't drink that every day. Remember, one of the things that pawpaw leaves have the ability to do is that they build your platelets. So you don't want to end up in a situation where you raise your platelet count too high. So if you're doing maintenance, I would use pawpaw leaf if I'm making tea, which I do occasionally. But that would be a once a month situation. If you're in deficiency, if you know you're anemic, let's say you're an anemic individual, so you may be a female who have a lot of problem with your cycle, you bleed a lot, or generally you have some level of anemia, well, then you could use pawpaw leaf like maybe about, I would say, once every week. But check yourself, because by the time you reach maybe about 3 months, you're going to be seeing some difference where that is. So you have to be careful. The thing with iron, and again, God in his wisdom, iron in the absence of vitamin C is constipated. It's going to constipate you. So anything in nature that has iron does not come with iron by itself. Green fig, for example. Green fig don't have iron alone. Beetroot does not have iron alone in it. All those green things, spirulina, chlorella, alfalfa, does not have iron alone. So when you have low blood count, there are some, I would not call brands, but there are specific brands on the market. You need to be careful. There is something, doctors is normally give people a little red tablet to raise their blood count. If you know, I despise that. I don't know what they're giving people that for. Because that it's in the state that it is in, one, it is inorganic iron, and when you take that, that's going to constipate the living daylights out of me. So my blood count down low, and you have me now, I can't go in the toilet. So that's madness there now. So what you need to do, always remember, iron in the absence of vitamin C is going to constipate you and cause a lot of problems. So try and use your natural sources, your little green fig, your beetroot, as I say with the pawpaw leaf situation, that is platelets primarily and not only blood count. So if it is you're good and you're healthy and your blood count high enough and you want to do that, you're looking at maybe once a month or something. Space out the thing. It's the same thing with turmeric. Turmeric is good enough, but turmeric is a blood thinner. So again, if you're using turmeric, and you could use turmeric like once a week. If it is you have a situation, you don't know, you was in a fight, or you must be a boxer, you do kickboxing and thing, you get 1 or 2 little lash in a match, and you figure you have some little blood clot and thing, you drink it for a week and you leave it alone. You get bungs, you fall, you get a lash or something like that, you hit him for about a week, and then you're done with that. Know what you're using, even if it's bush. Because let me tell you something, that's why herbal medicine had gotten a bad name, you know. Because some of these doctors just want to harp on the point about, oh, you don't know measurement, and you don't know measurement. Listen to me, you're talking foolishness. It have measurement in everything. The problem is some people just get too enthusiastic and they want to fix everything one time, and people tell you take 1 teaspoon of moringa and you decide you want to take a pot spoon. You will live on the toilet because that is not how you were supposed to take it. It's the same thing with baking soda. If you take 2 tablespoons of baking soda, play stupid, you will find out you'll have to live home. You'll be on the toilet and you'll be running like a pipe. You cannot do that. When you're using the people baking soda, you use a ½ teaspoon of baking soda in 8 ounces of water. If you know you're a kidney patient, then in a case like that, you're looking at a ¼ teaspoon in about 4 ounces of water. And you do not do it every day. You do it like about twice for the week. That is why you need to speak to a professional so that you can get a little bit of advice. And that's why this gives so much free information, because I don't want to go and use anything and then only damage on yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Correct. Instruction is pertinent. Instruction. Don't get the manual, show the manual with the box outside, and then go and try to put up the TV. Then you're behaving like a real Trinidadian. Don't do that.
All right, next up. Good day. I had a serious neuropathic itch attack last week. My sister has the same problem. My sugar reading has always been good. When I get stressed, I feel it wants to come on. What can I do to prevent or solve this problem? They also take medication for high blood pressure.
But the thing is, if you're having a neuropathic itch, as they recommended, I guess what they say is that they're having this tingling, this pins and needles, cramping in your car situation. What you need to do fundamentally is, again, look at your hydration. Keep in mind, and I think you almost get accustomed to this now. Once it is you're not feeling good, first thing to do, check your water. Next thing you need to do, check your breathing. Breathing exercises work. You know, you're in, somehow I say no spring chicken, so me expect you to go down on the ground in yoga pose and your thing and your deep breathing, and you know, let's want to do fancy thing. Or you go on the internet and see the people thing. You know, you're 600 years, you can't fold your foot properly, I want to go down, and then somebody will come and help you up. They'll call ambulance for you. Go with your own pace.
You want to drunk.
Right. Go with your own pace. You sit down, but breathing exercise. You take a deep breath, you hold it in. See if you could hold it in for about 3 seconds, you breathe out. You take a deep, so you do like 3 seconds for like the first day or the first week. The next time you do 5 seconds. The next time you do 7 seconds. The next time you do 10 seconds. Because what that deep breathing does, it helps with oxygen to your lungs. It helps to invigorate your organs. It helps with your gastrointestinal system. So start with that. Breathe in, you drink more water. Then you start to graduate now. You start to say, well, okay, I'm going to take a little cleanse and a detox. Generally, anyone could use Santulan from a child 3 years and up. However, if it is you know you have a little situation with your kidney, you may be on dialysis, then you need some sort of consultation. And it doesn't necessarily mean to sit down in the office and have a consultation. If it is your thing, we could do a consultation over the phone. We charge as normal. You come, you organize your thing, and we sort you out. But when you need consultation, special consultation, do not negate. Well, not negate. Negate is the wrong word. Do not take that for granted. You know, get the advice and let us follow our instructions so that we can get the results that we're looking for. Right?
All right. Let's take a call. Good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning, Dominic and Dr. Batson.
Good morning, ma'am.
Can you take a teaspoon of coconut oil and a teaspoon of olive oil daily?
Yes, you can. You can do one in the morning and one in the night.
I want to tell you that you're a piece of gold.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I humbly accept that.
That's how we're going to introduce
people, oh gosh, no, I don't. No, but I humbly take that. Believe me, you don't know how I'm humble when people tell me that, because, as I was saying this morning, I am one of the fortunate people.
Please put a ticker under his name and say gift from God for the social media pages.
Do not bother with Dominic with that, right? Let people say that. Don't let me say that about myself. You know? But as I was saying the other day, I am fortunate. Let me just say that I am fortunate to have found my calling in life. I just always tell people that. I am one of the few blessed people in this world to have got involved to do what I was supposed to do. There's my calling. I always tell people this. Always. So I humbly accept, the accolades that people put on me, and it's not me. God first, Dr. Batson after. Because I didn't get this knowledge for myself. Because I know this was for me. You don't learn and pick up the way I pick up. I pick this up like if it's food, easy, with ease. So that had to be something that I was supposed to do. So I take it for what it is.
All right. So before we wrap things up today, somebody's saying that they need help, but their fingers are curving inwards at the middle joint, and there's severe pain in both shoulder joints and wrists. Yeah. They're just asking for help. What can you suggest to help this one?
All right. Well, it means that person has debilitating arthritis. So you need to start again. So the journey. I don't know your history. I don't know if you were using steroids, if they had you on prednisolone, you were using different things to deal with, because that's what they normally recommend for arthritis persons. The unfortunate thing is that you cannot abuse steroids because they're not your friend, and they wreak havoc on the body. They actually make your arthritis worse. So if that is your history, then it means we have some work to do. So one of the first things I would suggest you do, until you may be able to come to us again, look at your hydration. Start to drink a little more water. In terms of your diet, you should remove things like milk, coffee, sugar. Sugar is a very oxidative, and it increases inflammatory response in the body. So try your best and reduce it. Try and have more natural sugars, because there are some people who confuse and say, well, I need sugar. But you get sugar. Look, mango in season. Eat a Julie mango. I had one. Well, I don't want to say last night, but last night I really sucked 2 Julie mango. I don't know, I was in a mood. I went outside and I see the tree and I'm like, nah, boy, I'm feeling for 2 mango. But, a day. I don't have any diabetes, so I could do that. Right? And once you start to do that, what we do now is, because when you're dealing with somebody with debilitating arthritis, you have some work to do. So it means now you need to look at the omegas, and we have omegas with astaxanthin. We have different ones. And then we have something that we use, which is our enzyme formula. The mineral formula has done exceptionally well for people with arthritis, because I did that product specifically for arthritis persons, because I find I was getting a lot of people with arthritis, and I am not the type of person who just try to disappoint people. So I say, listen to me, I need to do something, and I always try to better my best. I always try to get new things to help persons out, and that product so far is a favorite of a lot of people, and it has done significantly well with arthritis persons. So if you really need the help, you could start to do the things I recommended there. If you do not have hypertension, or even if you have it, you could start to use the baking soda, a half teaspoon in 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning, and start to get yourself, we start to clean up the blood, we start to get things moving, the liver start to smile again, we get the kidneys start to move, and then, you could always call, because we do over the phone consultations, because that's something we'll be starting heavily in the next coming months, to be able to deal with the numbers. And remember, we're not performing surgery, We don't have to, you don't have to be in front of us. We're living in a world now where, we try to make things more convenient for people. We have traffic. Sometimes you reach in the office, you sit down and, so if we could save you that with the effectiveness and the efficiency, because you would not be getting a subpar consultation if you do it like that, and let's get you the help that you need. I'll say something very quickly. There was a lady. This lady came to Batson and Associates and only saw me a year after. She was like, Dr. Batson, I only seen you on TV. First time in my life I see you, in person. I said, so how are you going? She said, good. I don't want to see you. I just wanted to see you because I want to see you. So I started to laugh. She said, I have gotten help. I dealt with your consultant. She actually dealt with Miss Ramdan and she dealt with Mr. Bastamante. And she said, those were the persons that I saw. And I have gotten excellent results. I no longer using medication. My blood pressure reading good. The first thing I started off with was 3 bottles of Alkagen water and 30 pack of circulation tea. And she said, Dr. Batson, to this day, I did not regret that because I was one of the persons who said, I want to see you, I want to see you, and I want to see Dr. Batson. And she said, when water more than flour, and she realized, listen to me, this appointment is 6 months. She came, she bought the circulation tea, she bought the water. The next time she saw Miss Ramdan recommended some other things, and she's good. So I'm just saying all of that to say that we need to get the show going. The longest journey in life starts with the first step. I just always tell people that. The first step, you have to make a step. And the step may not necessarily that you see Dr. Batson. The first step might be 3 bottles of Alkagen water. It might be 3 bottles of Alkagen water and a pack of Santulan and 30 circulation tea. But the point is a step, and you start to get results. Because my conscience would not, I can't multiply myself. I wish I could make, but then again, I wouldn't be authentic and I wouldn't be rare. So I really don't want 100 of me. Only I want Jason Batson. But at least we would have gotten you to the point where you started to feel better. Because when you're feeling sick, you can't wait no 3 months and to see who. Nah, man. You want to get better. You want results now. And I have put a framework in place to give you that results. We better in the framework. Because let me tell you something. These people are them well trained now. You see Mr. Ramdan working with me almost 10 years now. Mr. Green, same thing. And Mr. Bustamante came with a certain level of education and experience, and the young man loves what he does. He's exceptionally good at what he does. It's a good team, I believe, because I cannot do this by myself. I cannot. People want me in Guyana, they want me in Canada, they want me to go, oh, I'm good. You think I can't get married? My wife go leave me? She'll say, listen to me, you see you married to this work. I've done this here, that already, you know. So, and you know, you had a little 1 or 2 picnic and thing had happened for Batson. So the doctor had to be happy and healthy to make all you happy and healthy. Understand that?
Understand that.
Yeah, man.
Doc, before we wrap things up by you giving the numbers for the clinics, the offices rather.
Yes, very.
Could you mention what is good for intelligence and memory, particularly if you're studying? For those studying, what would you suggest or recommend for intelligence and memory?
Okay, so 2 things I want to do. Just allow me this favor. Let me just quickly call the persons that who had the winners that we have. Then I will give you that.
Oh, yes.
All right, so our Father's Day winners, which this competition we had over the month of June, and you were supposed to post certain things. Shakil, what is that to do to remind me?
That's like, comment, share.
So it was like, comment, share.
Leave a comment and also tag a friend.
Tag a friend, right. Good. So these are the winners that we have for this entire package here. So the test package, which includes your live nutritional blood cell analysis and your live dry blood analysis, as well as your magnetic resonance analysis scan and your food detox. The winners for that would be Mr. Gobadan Budu and Mr. Eugene Morley. So that's Mr. Gobadan Budu and Mr. Eugene Morley. The overall men's wellness package, which includes 15 male vitality tea. So that is bedroom business. 15 prostate tea to make sure and keep your prostate in a gear. And 3 Alkagen water. The winners for that would have been Mr. Peter Gordon as well as Mr. Thompson Rudal. Right? Remember, these winners were chosen via random selection, and that's the process that we use in order to get those persons. So congratulations again. Congratulations to Mr. Gobadan Budu and Mr. Eugene Morley. They won the test package, which include the blood analysis, live and dry blood, the magnetic resonance analysis, scan, and the food detox. And the men who won the men's overall package, which is 15 male vitality tea, 15 prostate teas, and 3 bottles of Alkagen water. Those winners were Mr. Peter Gordon and Mr. Thompson Rudal. Congratulations to you, gentlemen. Mr. Dominic, sir, just remind me again, was intelligence and memory, right?
Intelligence and memory, what would you recommend?
You see, like I taken something, I remember that, man. I would recommend omegas. Omegas are big in that. I'm a big advocate of omegas. I'm very brand specific. There are certain ones that I use. There are certain ones that I recommend. There are certain ones that we bring in. It helps. It really does help because it helps to improve blood circulation to the brain. The cerebral is a good product as well. I specifically got that product because one of the ingredients is what they actually use with people with ADDH, attention deficit hypertensity disorder. And you know, children who have that issue are children who do not pay attention. They cannot stay one place. So what that product actually does, it makes you concentrate. And it actually helps with intelligence and that type of thing. The nerve restore is also a good bet for you there because it improves your sleep, improves cognitive function, which is a big aspect of your mental and emotional state of mind, which is very important when you need to study and you need to regurgitate information, retainance, that type of thing. Okay, and very quickly again, those telephone numbers and locations. So keep in mind our open clinic days. On open clinic days, we do a number system. What I suggest you do, if you cannot get a call and you want to come, you can come. But I do suggest you call and we will facilitate you in such a way that we ensure that your wait is not too long. That's very important. I'm very passionate about that because the thing is our process in itself is longer than Western medical processes. When you come to see us, it's not a thing we write a prescription and run you. Thing that works so. It's proper evaluation so that we want to give you the results that you want. So we try our best, even in an open clinic day scenario, to reduce your waiting. All right. So we have that in Shogunas. It would be this Wednesday. Would be my day. I would be in Shogunas this Wednesday, and I am supposed to be in St. James Saturday coming as well. So is it St. James or Davy Boy? I need to clarify that. You could always call the office. All right, and those telephone numbers and locations for the Shogunas office. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. That telephone number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsamuch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That number is 223-7515. Again, 223-7515. St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And that is in the Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. I know I've said this before. Tobago, you're all getting your new office just now. I just need about a month to 6 weeks, and we'll have it fully set up. That number for Tobago is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. Mr. Dominic, sir, it's always to be a pleasure in your esteemed company, sir. And as we always...
No, I'm one or
sorry.
two, but that's all right.
You understand? A pleasant good morning. Enjoy the rest of your day, listeners of Sky 99.5. Remember, everything I say, it have some love inside it. So if you feel like a little buff up, all of that anything, right? Remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and may God continue to bless and strengthen all of you. And as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Dominic, I want you to do something for me. I don't know. We have any more time or I encroaching on the time here?
What's that you need?
Ice Batson. There is a particular song. I want us to close with this song. This, let me get this song for you. I'm going to tell you what it is. I want this version. It is J.J. Harris. Is Hiesta? How you pronounce that, boy?
Hiesta, J.J. Harris.
Yes, and Mercy Chinewa. Excess? You know that song?
Excess Love, the remix.
Yeah, the remix.
Right,
yeah, we need to send them with a nice. This morning is a nice music for the soul. Music for the soul. I love that song.
Requested music from Dr. Jason Batson. My friends, this has been the program Overcoming Health Issues Naturally.
You love me too much.